My question is about, well, I would say that I think it's possible to, or it makes sense to believe in God even if it's not rational. And I'm wondering if you guys can
what's
appreciate that.
My question would be, how do you determine that a thing makes sense if it's not rational? Isn't making sense a question about whether a thing is rational or not?
Well, yeah, I think it's a little bit of a loose use of the word sense, like common sense, or for example, it's difficult to find examples outside of the religious experience, but I think there are a couple good ones, like falling in love, or like liking a certain kind of music. That makes sense to people. We can all agree that there's nothing wrong with liking a certain kind of music just because you like it.
Well, when it comes to matters of personal preference, of course it's going to be decided by whether you like it or not.
The reason why I think we're having this discussion about religion and not about falling in love is that I'm not aware of any people who say, I fell in love with Judy, and Judy says the universe, that she created the universe, therefore I'm going to insist that the government teach that in schools.
Right. I mean, it's fine to fall in love with Judy.
Religion reaches out and makes a bunch of demands on the world around it in a way that, a couple who are in love with each other don't. See what I'm saying? So when we're talking about common sense, it would seem to me the things that you want to be most certain are rationally justified are the things that have a greater impact on the world at large. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? So I would think you would want higher standards of rational justification for religion than for love.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes some sense. I think love is a pretty big question, and if you're going to decide to spend the rest of your life with someone and make legal, documents that bind you to this and that based on just a feeling, because it seems like a good feeling or it seems like a strong feeling, it seems like something that you can trust. Yes, of course it's personal, and I wouldn't expect somebody else to believe in God just because I say I'm having those feelings. And I think you guys are totally, you have the right to your opinion, and I really respect it and all that. But I just want to test the waters to see, how do you feel about people personally, believing in God if it's not rational? And if they're aware that it's not rational, are you okay with it,
Life's too short to be particularly concerned with what crazy things every single person believes. I mean, there are people out there who believe that the Bible was written by space aliens. There are people who believe that there are tiny little microorganisms that are evil and they're infesting your body from another planet. And they're influencing everything you do. And that's not really a big problem for me as long as it doesn't come down to the point where, let's say, I can be thrown in jail for questioning this, or I can be, sued for saying that that's a stupid idea.
Or your child can be taught somebody else's sectarian religious views in science class.
Exactly.
So that's the thing. Obviously, we don't even have to be talking about religion. Everybody has a right to believe whatever they want, right? That's really not the issue. We're not here saying that we're not here promoting the idea that we want everybody to believe as we do. We are here saying, you know what? If you're going to take your beliefs and attempt to exert them on the society around you, and on us, then we are well within our rights to turn around and say, you know what, before you force that on me, you darn well better be able to prove that it's true, rationally. And if you can't, you should not be even beginning to try to push that on me.
And when it comes back to the love question, love is really subjective. A good friend of mine could love somebody that I totally hate. But that's not my problem. On the other hand, if the object of your love is, let's say, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong-il says that everybody's got to love me or else you'll be tortured, then I've got a problem with that, because you know, that's taking away the voluntary freedom of association, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Or taking some segment of the population, say gay people, and saying horrible things about them because your holy book tells you that they're bad, and you don't actually have any rational justification for believing that what that holy book says is true, but you're going ahead and bad-mouthing those people anyway on that basis. You know, those kinds of things are where we think that we are well within our rights to stand up and say, hey, you know, these views you're promoting and attempting to spread, those views are not based on anything rational, and we think that's a darn good reason not to even begin believing them in the first place.
Yeah. Well, I agree with pretty much everything you guys are saying. I think, you know, good to have a dialogue.
Cool.
If I can just go back really quickly to one point that you said about, you know, it's personal, so it's not trying to, or it doesn't, you know, put demands on society, so it's okay that it's, you know, not rational. You know, and I go back to music and say, yeah, of course it's personal, it's subjective, but just because it's subjective doesn't mean that we can't get together and figure out what we all think is in common. And there's structures of music, and there's textbooks, and there's all sorts of things about music that everybody agrees on. Well, maybe not everybody,
there's nothing in music everybody agrees on. I mean,
and are you about to take this analogy and extend it to religion? Because it for sure doesn't apply there.
Not religion, but personal beliefs.
That doesn't apply there either. I mean, I don't believe that the universe was created by some intelligent entity. And you're a theist, so you do believe that?
Yeah.
And there's other people out there, polytheistic religions, that believe the universe was created all kinds of different ways. I mean, it's not correct to say that underlying in religious kind of or spiritual worldviews there's something particular in common.
And also, I mean, whether there is this intelligent entity out there is kind of a question of fact. I mean, there may not be anybody who actually knows which way it is, but I would hope that theists and atheists would all agree that there is, in principle, a right answer, not an answer that exists inside of your head, but something where there either is this God or there isn't this God. And so, you know, it's not like love where the question is you love Judy and I don't, and we're both right about that. The question about whether the God actually exists has a right answer in principle, and so there needs to be an actual way to reach this conclusion together, other than, you know, just farting around and making stuff up.
Yeah. Anytime there's a dialogue, I'm just telling you, man, every time that theists have a dialogue with atheists, the first thing we atheists are going to say is, you know, if you're going to bring this religion stuff to the table, we are going to expect you to be able to rationally justify it. And if you can't, it's really hard to find common ground after that.